That amuses me
Hi,
greatly.
friends. Host Eric here, host Talking with Fans People, and what we are talking about, we are talking about musing. That's right, a little musing. It's evening time, which means it's time for musings. And tonight I thought I'd do a little bit of group musings to include the others in the musing process. Musings for me means thinking about my day and sort of positioning myself SI wise. So I go, okay, like, what did I learn today? Or how am I feeling about myself as it relates to metaphysical statuses and such that I might affirm or negate, such as I'm sad today, or it's sleepy week, or it's I'm today's a good day, shit's going down. Those kind of things all get then linked back into a larger framework of purpose in life kind of shit, I guess, or varying degrees of broadness of scope. But that's basically the idea of the musings section. And it was interesting. Last night I did a really long one. It was like 49 minutes or something. And I have to say, I think it's one of the better things I've ever done, even though it's so long. And the reason is because I really feel as though almost everything I said in that is right on the money. But at the same time, I recognize the reason it's nightly musings is I don't feel the same way today as I did yesterday. Yesterday, felt I felt knowledgeable and mistook knowledgeable for skillful. Knowledgeable and skillful are different things, and I have to remember that whatever else, life is best approached as though one's skills were something in progress, and that one's knowledge was always ahead of one's skills, so that it is such that in whichever endeavor I'm endeavoring, I know more than I can do. The reason I think that's important is because one of the big risks of the ENTP's nature and ways, in my opinion, is the tendency to overweight the significance of the conceptualizations that we do about things. So, I mean, I think this is sort of true for everybody. People tie their sense of self, their self esteem, or their sense of worth, how much they feel like they're killing it and or struggling in life. They tie that shit to a number of different elements, and somewhat it depends on which type they are, right? So it's like, especially with an Enneagram. If an Enneagram type 2 is trying to deal with difficulties and stuff and or just trying to manifest as realized a version of the self as possible, then they're going to be pretty helpful probably. They're going to sort of help their way to victory. For me, I've got to achieve certain things, and or I've got to achieve. And the nice thing about life is, even if you're a 3 in the mix there, like I have, and even if it's not very strong, there are a lot of different ways one can achieve, and there are a lot of different aspects of the self upon which one can focus, such that, for me anyway, the healthiest self is a well diversified self that has a lot of different things going on in the mix, and if one thing falls through, it's easy enough to turn my attention to some other thing. That requires a lot of social stuff going on. It requires a lot of creative stuff going on and requires a lot of actual work stuff going on. And that, I guess, is the strongest protective barrier between me and despair, is as many different layers of attention, of hopeful attention potentialities as possible. So there's a lot of different things that might pan out in some way that works out well for me, either just because it seems like it's going to be fun, or because it makes money, or because it broadens my understanding, or whatever the payoff is. Those sort of things make the difference between, for me, a happy realized version of myself and an unhappy unrealized version of myself. Is if I don't have enough spread in my shit going on and it's not linked with enough people, then I don't have adequate network inertia or something like that. So that's my initial thoughts on the musings. This is basically my musings. I'd love to get your guys' musings, either musings on my musings, or musings on your own musings, or musings about musings, or all of the above. Audra, would you like to go first?
Sure. Well, your musings made me muse about shit that I've got going on, which is good. And my day in general was, I did accomplish some stuff, so that's good. Got my next book, ordered copies of the next one, so I'm excited to see that in person in a few days. I don't know. It's funny. I've been musing lately that having too much of a too much of a secure sit there and pay me sort of thing actually makes me really lazy, and I haven't
Right.
been doing enough. It's like I'm both bored and lazy in such a situation after a while. So
So, what do you feel when you? Besides bored and lazy, I get that, but why is it that? I'm really asking the question about myself, but I'm curious about your take on it and yourself. That why can't you? Why is it so important to be productive? Why does it matter?
I don't know. Does it matter to be productive, or does it matter to be? I think there's a difference between productivity and being productive and being like exploring or something. Like that's not the right word, but because being productive doesn't seem to necessarily, in standard parlance, actually mean you're creating anything. And I think that's a differentiation I was contemplating today.
Okay, so can you expand on that a bit?
So, like, being productive can be very much just, I think it can, I mean, like I said, in common parlance, it can be facilitating, it can be making things get unstuck, but it's not necessarily producing anything that wasn't already there or wasn't already going to be there. And that's, I don't know, something about, there's some kind of differentiation there for me between creating something versus just facilitating or moving something along, I think.
Right.
You know,
Well,
I like problem solving a lot, but problem solving by itself just honestly isn't sufficient because it doesn't always accomplish as much as it sounds like it should.
I like getting. I like SI productivity, but most of the things that I'm productive in are, I guess, creative projects of some sort. I'm happy to have gotten that song done, and that that always makes a big impact on me when I get a piece of work done. You got a book to done not that long ago, apparently, because you're getting it printed now, right?
Yeah, it's actually so I'm kind of on a lull right now, which is bugging me. So I'm happy to get this one out because that's the last one that I've got lurking in like editorial mode. So in order to get another one out, I actually have to finish writing another one. So that hopefully should motivate me. But yeah, I get much more satisfaction out of creative productivity than I do other kinds.
Hmm.
And I don't like when non-creative productivity is getting in the way of creative productivity, is kind of preventing it by being too
By
much of it.
by occupying your time.
But occupying my time and my attention, and it also makes like I feel like I'm not being lazy because I'm technically or I seem to be being productive, then but then I'm not actually. But I'm not. It keeps me from being motivated to go ahead and be productive creatively. I think,
Hmm.
or it certainly reduces the motivation somehow. There's less pressure or something.
So how much of a how much of an audience do you have, or what methodology do you have for building an audience and stuff?
For like my writing.
Yeah,
Um,
that's tough. Writing's
so I've
tough.
got yeah, it's a mess. So I've got a regional audience for my agricultural humor nonfiction stuff that came about kind of organically. Like I ended up writing this column in the newspaper, and it's been very popular, and that's that's got a pretty wide audience. But they're not the best audience because they're not always the easiest to reach, like remotely or digitally. A lot of it I have to find them in person, but and then just I don't know. Right now, I'm doing a lot of work just trying to spread stuff out there,
Right.
and and I've published short stories over the years, and so I've always gotten a good response from those, and I have a small audience from those. But I don't know.
I mean, the tricky thing I think for people who have completed work and continue to do work is if we were to sort of optimize our energies, half of the time would be spent in the maximization of audience, you know? But
Yeah,
but that's not something we want to do. It's not fun.
yeah. I can put my marketing hat on for some short periods of time,
All right.
but one of the
Well,
biggest things I'm trying to do that I think is supposed to be is get um a second book in a couple of series so that I can make the first book free and get it just like disseminated a whole lot and then come back to the second one. So
right.
I've
That's a good idea.
decided that, probably it would be better to save some of my marketing energy for after I've got sets of two. So, but
Um,
I've got two
look,
of the first books out there. Now I have to finish the second ones and get them out there.
it's a good plan. Putting out the first one for free, and then having people want to buy the second one for
Yeah,
sure if they
there's a
read
lot
the
of
first one.
evidence that that's pretty effective. But
Loki, what about you? What are your musings upon either my musings, Audra's musings, your own musings, or musings itself?
So if I understood correctly, musings are more reflections and like
Yeah,
what I think. Okay.
that's out there for me. I mean, you can
Uh,
muse yourself your own musing definition if you'd like.
I like to use correct definitions. No, I'm currently on a social game with a friend, and there's lots of computer work there done. I've been procrastinating for almost a month now, so I got a deadline on Friday, so I've been working, trying to get into that shit. Um, though, and also I'm trying to find the motivation to do housework. I find that very hard. Have you ever? you have any musings on that?
Well, you just gotta you gotta be like right now. Like, let's say there's something pretty close and easy to do. Like, let's say you needed to take a trash can out into the trash. You go, okay, Eric, I'm gonna go grab that trash can right now. I'm gonna go take it outside. I utilize this platform to get me started on housework a lot. I'll tell somebody, okay, I'm gonna take some trash out, okay, and then they go, okay. And I go, okay, I'll be right back, and I take the trash out, and it's easier that way because then somebody else is involved in the process. That's the best advice I really have for it. The other thing is just remember when we want to try to start doing housework, we always want to try to start doing the set of tasks. But you can't start doing a set of tasks. You can only start doing one task. So stop worrying about the set and just do the one task that's right in front of you that you think about doing. Don't come up with a plan so much.
Okay.
Housework doesn't really require planning.
Uh,
We think it does. We think, yeah, but I want to make sure I start in the right room, and I want to make sure that if I'm gonna, because look, I'm gonna move this, I'm gonna have to move that over there, and it takes some organization on that. Just start doing at least one thing and get started on it, and then you can worry about the organizational processor, so to speak, as you go.
hmm Well, I don't have much more to give to the video
Well,
regarding that.
you're done with your musings? Is that what you're saying?
Well, at the moment, right now, I can't think of anything else in
That's
particular.
totally fine, Loki. I wasn't trying to bust your chops about it.
Gotta wake
Carolyn, you
up a
got
bit
any
more.
musings for us?
Those early morning musings just aren't the same as the late night musings.
Hmm. These are our nightly musings. Carolyn's contribution. Uh, well, who's morning musings? Who is that? Oh, that's you, Loki. Um, I will tell you, Carolyn, we're musing about just anything significant about our day or whatever. But that's fine. I will end the musings video right here. So those were the musings for the day. My takeaway from it is she can be challenging sometimes. Don't forget to eat plenty of cheese. Thanks for watching Talking with Fitness People.